Mystery men that don't exist showing up and saving the day? Cars imploding in on themselves minutes after a train hits them? People being caught in midair by invisible arms? Voices from beyond that save people's lives? All this and more.
Welcome to Edge of Wonder. I'm Ben.
And I'm Rob. So we've been covering a wide range of topics, everything from Satanists ruling the world, to mind control, aliens, deep state, quantum computers, conspiracy theories, etc., etc. And to be honest, it can all get kind of depressing.
Yeah. So we thought it would be nice to bring in some positive energy into the world by sharing stories of what people are describing as having a guardian angel life-saving experience.
It is kind of ironic, don't you think, that it seems easier for people to believe that Satan exists than angels and the divine, but hopefully we can actually change that on this episode.
We want to give people hope that there is light beyond the darkness and share stories of real people who have been protected by what they are saying are their guardian angels.
On this episode of Edge of Wonder, we're going to present true stories of what people are describing and miracles you won't be able to disprove. But before we begin, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Rescue workers and community members spent 45 minutes trying to free 19-year-old Katie Lentz, who was trapped inside her car between the seat and the steering wheel in a very small town in Missouri.
Katie's health was beginning to deteriorate and they were running out of time and options. The car was on its side, but they needed to move the car back on all four wheels. But if they did, it might actually injure her even more.
Katie then asked all the rescue workers to start praying for her safety, knowing that this was going to be dangerous. But that's when it happened. An angel priest appeared out of nowhere.
No, he wasn't flying. The priest walked up and said he had anointing oil with him and he offered a prayer. According to KHQA, Raymond Reed, fire chief of New London, said, "A sense of calmness came over her and it did on us as well. I can't be for certain how it was said, but myself and another firefighter, we very plainly heard that we should remain calm, that our tools would now work, and that we would get her out of that vehicle."
Reed went on to say to the USA Today that "I think it's a miracle. I mean, I would say whether it was an angel that was sent to us in the form of a priest or a priest that became our angel, I don't know. Either way, I'm good with it."
Her mother said emergency workers have told her that there was no way her daughter should have lived inside such a mangled car. She believes that the priest could have certainly been an angel dressed in priest's attire because she said, quote, "The Bible tells us there are angels among us," unquote.
After Katie was freed, she was flown in a helicopter to the nearest hospital. Reed went on to thank the priest, but to his bewilderment, he was gone. No one even saw him arrive, and no one saw him leave.
So guys, get this. Over 70 photos were taken from professional media outlets, and the priest wasn't in a single photo, any video footage. I mean, this is weird.
Yeah. I mean, and Reed also said that there were local people from 4 different towns helping out, and that there was only one Catholic church between all of the towns and one priest, obviously. So, and all the roads were completely blocked off from all the sides, so it was impossible for anyone to get in or out without being seen.
Yeah, and it wasn't the local priest.
Right, no, it wasn't the local priest, yeah.
So as for Katie, she sustained critical injuries, but came out of the situation completely fine in the end after undergoing some surgery.
So after this event took place, a priest came forward and said that he was the priest, but honestly, I mean, I think this guy's doing it for publicity reasons. I mean, this is a sketch of what they had of the priest on the scene, and this is the priest claiming to be him.
Okay, one guy is balding and the other dude has a ton of hair and glasses. I mean, these are two completely different people, so I agree. I think this dude is doing this for a publicity stunt.
Yeah, and he also doesn't really explain how he got in and out and why he's not in a single photo. So, I mean, seriously, I'm calling this guy out. Sadly, I mean, some religious people are attached to their own fame and gain at times even, so.
Okay, so out of all of our stories in this video, this is probably the most miraculous of all of them. The woman who got hit by a train and walks out of her car without a scratch.
All right, you guys, so Jong Chien lives in Warsaw, Poland, and one day she was driving to an event and there was a lot of traffic. So to save time, she took a detour.
Jung said that she quickly came to a railroad crossing. She said, quote, "I don't remember seeing any signs at the time, but I saw the car in front of me drive slowly across the railroad tracks," according to the Epoch Times.
Soon, she found herself alone and everything became very quiet. As she started to wonder why she couldn't hear the noise of the traffic anymore, all of a sudden her car was rammed on the driver's side and forced her backwards.
She said everything was moving so fast and she couldn't see what was happening. She closed her eyes in disbelief, and when she opened them again, she saw 2 rails through her windshield.
Zhang said that everything stopped and the left side of her door wouldn't open, so she got out on the other side, which could only be opened wide enough barely for her to squeeze through.
That's when she realized that her car had been dragged for a quarter of a mile down the tracks. But the miraculous part was that she didn't even feel the impact or even hear the sound of it.
At this point, when the rescuers arrived on the scene, they didn't even believe Zhang was the one that was in the car, because she was perfectly fine standing outside of the car.
They finally believed her, took her to a hospital to be examined, and the doctor did some x-rays, and the results were shocking to everyone because she wasn't even hurt at all, not even a bit.
Yeah, the train had over 100 people on board, and the train traffic was stopped for almost 3 hours. However, according to the police report, no one was injured or died at the accident, so they made the case closed.
After Zhang's car was towed to the insurance company, it somehow looked completely different. None of the doors could be opened. The windshield and the windows on the right side, which looked fine at the crash site, were completely shattered, and the frame was totaled.
Zhang later said that she believed that this was the shape that her car was supposed to be in when the crash happened, and that she believes that the Lord Buddha protected her and delayed the wreck so she could get out safely.
Miraculously, she even had pottery in the back seat that was for a charity event, and she said none of them were even broken. So Zhang practices Falun Gong, a spiritual discipline that came from China and has roots in Buddhism. And it's a Qigong practice that's kind of similar to Tai Chi.
Yeah, it's based off the universal principles of truthfulness, compassion, tolerance. She said she believes she was protected because of her practice, in which she strives to be more compassionate to others and always tries to think of others first in everything that she does.
So her friend even said to her, quote, "Did you know that there is a huge block of metal in front of Polish trains? That block hit you between the front and the back door on the driver's side. If it had hit a millisecond earlier, it would have been your head that was smashed," unquote.
Crazy. So hey guys, before we move on to the next one, make sure you hit like and subscribe and click on the notification bell.
Also, hang out to the end of the video and we're going to tell you one of our friends is a first-hand account by talking to this Polish woman about what happened, and it's actually even a little crazier than what we presented to you. So keep watching to the end.
The edge of wonder.
Could you imagine falling from a 6-story window? And as you're seeing the concrete getting closer and closer, what would be going through your mind?
Well, for little Dania Reda, this is exactly what happened. She heard her friends playing outside and couldn't resist the urge to say hi to them.
What happened next will for sure change her life forever. She leaned out too far and lost her balance, and soon she found herself plummeting down to the ground.
However, Dania believes that an angel saved her and broke her fall. According to the Gulf News media, she said, quote, "I was falling fast at first and very scared, but then I felt someone hold me like I was a baby. I didn't drop as hard as I thought I would," unquote.
According to the media outlet, she was still conscious after falling and was rushed to the hospital, but didn't have any life-threatening injuries.
Her father believed that it was divine mercy that saved his daughter's life and that he's grateful that she's alive.
As for Dania, she said that she won't go near windows again and will listen to her parents from now on. Probably some good advice.
Yeah, especially if you lose your balance often. Now, when most people say they hear voices, society will say that they may need to get their heads checked out.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Or they might be under some kind of MK Ultra mind control, or the company just upgraded to 5G.
However, if someone hears a voice so they wouldn't die in their sleep, then this would really be a good thing, right? This actually happened to Donna Ferguson after giving birth to her 4th child. Donna wrote about her experience in the Daily Mail. Donna said that she felt very tired and fell asleep. Around 2 a.m., she started to hear a voice.
The voice kept telling her to wake up and was repeating it to her, but she kept thinking she was so tired and that all she wanted to do was sleep. She said the voice remained at the same tone but was more and more persistent and determined to wake her up. Then it told her to press the alarm.
She said that she never even knew that there was an alarm button there, and unable to really open her eyes, she slowly lifted her arm to press the button and the nurse came rushing in. Donna found herself lying in a pool of blood as they desperately tried to keep her awake.
The nurses told her that if she didn't press the alarm, she would have died that night, but Donna said that a nurse woke her up. Surprised at her comment, the doctor informed her that no one was in the room with her all night. He said that it must have been her guardian angel because she definitely would have died if not for hitting that alarm when she did.
Donna realized that she wasn't meant to die that night and believed that her guardian angel has been with her ever since. She had even another experience where she saw a bright golden light in her room that wasn't coming off from any light source.
She believes that her whole family is being watched over now, and she no longer worries about her children. In Memphis, Tennessee, Lunsford Johnson Jr.'s car was sideswiped, and then it hit a post and it caught on fire while he was stuck inside with no way out.
As people nearby rushed over to risk their lives to save the man, Irby, a woman on the side of the road, began to pray.
According to local media, WMC Action News 5, Irby said, quote, "For moments, this fire held on the dashboard until this man was free, and once he was free, the fire broke through the car. That was God."
Witnesses say just seconds after rescuers cut his seatbelt and carried him off to safety, the entire car became engulfed in flames and then exploded.
Another unbelievable aspect of this was his Bible he left in the passenger seat. It was later found after the fire was put out by firefighters, completely intact, not burned or damaged by the water at all.
Lunsford's wife passed away 3 months prior to this, and he believed she was there with him, wanting him to live, to take care of their children and their grandchildren.
Johnson told the media that the Lord wasn't ready for me yet. He still has a mission for me to do.
So after all of these stories that we just heard, I mean, these are really intense stories. I mean, it's hard to believe that there's not something watching over and protecting us.
Totally, man. I mean, this is why it's super important for humans to be more compassionate to one another and to understand that there's a higher arrangement to things, that everything has a purpose and a meaning, right?
Right. Also, for those of you who don't believe or are thinking, well, why haven't they shown themselves to me? We both know that they're all around us, but it is up to each of us to reach out to them first. We have to take those first steps into changing ourselves and doing more things for others. In this case, I believe that they will then show themselves to us.
Right. It's not like we're here controlling and directing them. We don't get to do that. We need to seriously look deep within ourselves and be willing to change ourselves for the better, right? And let go of negative emotions, greed, jealousy, anger, all that junk. Then as we change, you can start seeing the world around us in a whole new light. I mean, your entire field will change everything around you.
But the real question is how many of us can start to change ourselves? It is hard, but if you can do it, as you said, everything opens up and you start to see everything differently.
So guys, what did you think about our show about miracles? Did you have one that you'd like to share with us? Also, there are so many more stories of miracles that we haven't even touched on yet. Did you guys like this? You want more? It's like heart fuel, right?
It's a good way of putting it. Let us know what you think and we'll be happy to give you more. Also, be sure to hit like and subscribe for more great content about all kinds of cool and fascinating things. Until then, we'll see you out
On the edge
of these broken wings and learn to fly again and live so free.
You just destroyed that song, man.
Probably. All right.
So you guys that hung around to the very end, we wanted to tell you one of our friends' account of that Falun Gong practitioner who her car was destroyed. So Ben and I have a mutual friend. His name is Jan, and he's from Poland, and he talked to this woman. And what was his account about what happened to the car when she stepped out of it?
So according to Jan, he was saying that when it actually hit the car, it didn't cause any damage, but she was like very disoriented. Like she didn't know what happened. She didn't feel anything. She got out of the car, and according to his account, when she walked out of the car and was safe, the car just like imploded on
She
itself.
witnessed the car imploding in front of her eyes. So it was like the car waited, and then all of a sudden it was like.
Yeah, it was like waiting for her to get out, and then the accident happened.
We didn't talk to her.
Yeah.
Personally.
We're trying to get a hold of her, and I want to hear more of her account. She only speaks Chinese, and we're working on this. But this
Jan's
is
a
what we
pretty
heard.
good source, though.
Yeah. Or she didn't want to tell the media this from
Right.
what Jan said, just because. Who's gonna
believe that, right? Like, that's just way out there. But we'll tell you guys, because you're just weird enough to believe it, like us.
So yeah, I mean, this is an honest, true story of the wreck and everything. This part we'll find out more for you guys and do a future episode.
All right, see you out on the edge, y'alls. Hey guys, hope you're enjoying this episode.
If you want to watch the rest and get access to our full catalog of content with hundreds of videos that will keep you entertained for hours and hours, subscribe to Rise.tv.
Also, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss a single new drop.
Yeah, and we'll see you out
On the edge.